Chapter 7, some gorgeous bottoms. Mum was absolutely right. We hadn't heard the last of it. She showed me the local paper this morning. This was the headline. Boy terrorist, 11, explodes yoghurt bomb in High Street. I'm famous! Well, not really, of course, only down our road. The police came round and questioned me last night, but once they had worked out that it was a genuine accident, there wasn't much more they could do. Apparently the yoghurt had exploded because Lancelot had recently used the tub for making beer. He'd left some yeast in the bottom and it had reacted with the warm goat's milk, and that was it. Boom. I learned quite a lot about chemical reactions yesterday. I think that if science lessons at school were like that, you'd be a lot more interested, wouldn't you? I mean, your science teacher might get covered in yoghurt. So might you. The odd thing is that rubbish seems to know. I mean, how could she? She wasn't there in the high street when the yoghurt exploded, and she certainly can't read newspapers. It's almost as if she understood what we said to each other. She just looks at me now with an odd expression that seems to be saying, how could you do that to my precious milk? Anyway, I might be famous in our street, but I reckon cheese is going to be the really famous one. We had yet another visitor today while Dad was home. Cheese had been toddling after Dad for ages, saying, "Wet bot! Wet bot!" Dad kept trying to get out of the nappy changing, but eventually he had to do it. He'd just finished cleaning Cheese up when the doorbell went. Dad flung Cheese onto his shoulder and marched off to answer it. Standing outside was a young lady who squeaked with delight when Dad opened the door. "That's the one," she cried. "That's the bottom I'm after. Darling, you have the most gorgeous bottom." You should have seen Dad's face. He went red right to the tips of his hair and struggled for words. Thank you, he said. Nobody's ever told me that before. Yours is nice too? The woman stared back at Dad. "What?" she said. I hurried to the rescue and tugged at Dad's arm. "She doesn't mean you, Dad. I think she's talking about Cheese's bottom." "Cheese?" repeated Dad. "Really?" He stared at her again. "You want cheese?" The young woman hadn't got a clue what either of us were talking about. "Do I look like I want cheese?" she demanded. "Why would I knock on your door and ask for cheese? I can get my own cheese if I want some, which I don't." "This is cheese?" I offered, pointing at my little brother. There was a long pause while the woman looked at Cheese, then me, then Dad. He's called Cheese?" "He's called Cheese?" asked the woman. Dad and I nodded. "Why?" "Because he smells," Dad instantly replied. "It isn't," I said, and explained about Mum giving birth in the pizza delivery van. The woman started to smile and soon she was laughing. What a very odd name, and oh my goodness, that conversation was so weird, and I thought I'd come to some sort of madhouse. "You have," agreed Mum, appearing at the door with toddler number 2. "This is Tomato, Cheese's twin sister. Their proper names are James and Rebecca." "Pooh!" cried Tomato. "No," said Mum, shaking her head. "When you meet somebody new, you say hello. You don't say poo. Go on, Rebecca, say hello." "Pooh!" cried Tomato. The young woman laughed. "That's all right," she said. "Babies are so cute, aren't they?" "Only when they belong to someone else," muttered Dad, darkly. "Ignore him," said Mum. The young woman grinned rather stupidly. "Well," she went on, "I just happened to watch a programme the other day about nuisance neighbours, and I saw James, and I thought to myself, that is the bottom I need." "Oh no," said Dad seriously. Cheese's bottom would be much too small for you. It wouldn't fit. I'd stick to the one you've already got." "Stop it," hissed Mum. "Oh, it's all right," the woman giggled. "He's quite a character, your husband, isn't he?" "I can tell." "Can you?" said Mum. "Well, please don't encourage him." The woman giggled. "The thing is, I have a proposal that may interest you. I work for Dumpers, the disposable nappy people." I looked at Mum and Dad. "We use them," I said. "We're looking for a toddler to head up our new TV advert. To put it simply, we need a beautiful bottom to show off our new range of throwaway nappies." She leaned forward and peered at Cheese's backside. "I've looked at hundreds of bottom, but this child has the Mona Lisa of posteriors. We would like to use it in our advertising campaign." "Really?" said Dad, perking up considerably. "Would he get paid?" "Oh, yes," said the woman, "well paid." Fine. What do you think, Brenda?" "I think it might be a good idea. I'm sorry, but you never told us your name." "Jingle." "Jingle Trinket," smiled the lady. "Jingle Trinket," repeated Dad. "And you thought Cheese was an odd name?" "Cheese is an odd name." chorused Mum and Jingle. For a second they looked at each other in surprise. Dad put Cheese down as Miss Trinket handed him a card. Here's the address for the studio. Perhaps you could come in tomorrow. She bent down to Cheese. Bye-bye, cutie bottom. And the same to you, smiled Dad. Honestly, I can't take my dad anywhere. You should have seen the looks he got from Jingle and Mum. It was a powerful mix of flamethrower Jingle and ice cubes Mum. I can't wait for tomorrow. We're going to be on TV. Well, Cheese is at any rate. I might not be heading for film stardom, but Cheese is. So I guess that I shall be the brother of a famous film star, which is almost as good as actually being one. Chapter 8, Lights, Camera, Action. Brilliant day today. We went to the TV studio in London. It was a huge building with an incredibly swish front. We had to give our names at the reception desk and wait for someone to collect us. There were loads of people coming and going. Dad reckoned he saw several TV stars. He even asked one for her autograph and she was ever so pleased. She scribbled it down and then told him that she was actually only one of the cleaners. Mum couldn't stop laughing, not until she spotted Dan Crumble, the newscaster. That got her so excited. I can't believe it's him, she whispered to Dad. That's because it probably isn't. Dad snapped back, scrumping up his autograph and throwing it in the bin. I bet he's only the caretaker or something. But Mum went over and asked for an autograph, and it really was Dan Crumble. Mum threw her arms around his neck and kissed him. Mwah! I spoke to Dan Crumble, she said breathlessly. He kissed my cheek. He's only a newscaster, Brenda, muttered Dad. He's only a newscaster, Brenda, copied Mum in a very mopey voice. She smiled. And you're only my husband, Ron. She threw her arms round him and gave him such a noisy smackaroo of a kiss that everyone turned and looked. Get off, shouted Dad, trying to look cross and waving his arms at her. But he got a fit of the giggles and they both fell about. My parents get more embarrassing the older I get. I can't take them anywhere. Kiss, shouted Cheese. Kissy kiss, echoed Tomato, puckering her lips. Go on then, Nick, said Dad. Give the twins a kiss. There's a good big brother. Oh, look. Oh, Maisie. Sorry, Maisie knocked the phone over. There we go. Right, sit down then. Okay. Right, you. Go on then, Nick. Give the twins a kiss. There's a good big brother. Ah, look, Brenda. Isn't that a charming sight? Big brother is kissing little brother. And you can stop sniggering too. Have you ever kissed a 1-year-old? More to the point, have you ever kissed a 1-year-old who recently ate chocolate ice cream and still has slobbery, chocky mush all over his face? Yuck. Luckily, I was saved from further tortures by the arrival of a tall, thin woman who looked surprisingly similar to a telephone pole. Maybe it was her wiry hair. Hello, she said. You must be here for the Dumpers trial. Trial? I thought we were making an advert, said Dad. Oh yes, but the trial ad today, to see if your baby is good enough. Good enough, repeated Mum. Of course our babies are good enough. The young woman was flustered and she was turning red. I didn't mean your babies, I'll start again. Today we are making a trial advert. We are trialling other babies too. Then we choose which baby we think will be best. Dad's head slumped forward. I thought this was going to be it, he muttered into his beard. This was going to solve all our problems, but it's just a trial. You'll be paid for your time and travel costs, said the young lady. Oh, whoop-de-doo, muttered Dad. Rich beyond our wildest dreams? I don't think so. Mum patted his knee. Don't get so down, it's not over yet. We still have a chance. I grabbed the pushchair and we all followed Miss Telephone Pole. We went through the security barriers and into an enormous lift and up several floors. Then we walked along miles and miles of corridors. We are now in the recording area, whispered Miss TP. The studio is showing a red light above the door recording programmes, so please don't make any loud noises. The big screen outside each studio shows what's going on inside. As you can see, Studio 6 is where the news broadcasts come from. We shall be next door in Studio 7. Can I have a peep? Asked Mum. I got Dan Crumble's autograph earlier. It is utterly forbidden to enter a studio when the red light is on, warned Miss TP, ushering us into Studio 7. Amazing. It was like another world. The lights were huge and brighter than the sun and so hot. There were 3 cameras on whopping great stands and people everywhere. Cameramen, lighting, engineers, producers, directors, dozen of them. You'd never have thought it could take so many people to make one little advert for disposable nappies. A big cheerful man came rolling across the studio. David Dumper, he announced, head of Dumper Disposables. These your kids? Cute. Heard a lot about them. Really? Queried Mum. Sure, Jingle was quite taken with them. Dad perked up a bit when he heard this. So let's get down to work, said Mr. Dumper. We're doing a test shoot to see how it all looks on screen. We want a shot of your baby crawling across the floor, plus a second shot of the kid walking and wearing our latest product, the Bumper Dumper. Got a fantastic new jingle. Oompa oompa, stick it in a dumper. Isn't that great? Okay, everyone, let's get on with it.